All right, I'm here to talk about the Jim Harbaugh contract situation and just some reasons why I think it's a horrible idea to bring him back. I'm going to start off with just comparing his record to Ohio State's record in the time that he's been there, while also bringing up um, some things that Michigan said when he was hired that they wanted him to accomplish, that he has not accomplished in 6 years. Um, First of all, Michigan, when they hired him, said, "Hey, we're hiring him." This is in the press conference. You can go and watch it. We're hiring him to compete with Ohio State, try to bring us back up to that level, and hopefully compete for Big Ten championships and national championships. Not only has he not competed with Ohio State, the only year that you can say that he did that was 2016, I believe, when they were actually ranked higher going into the Ohio State game. He has not been level with Ohio State at all. Has yet to go to a Big Ten championship in 6 years. So it just seems more and more unlikely that's ever going to happen while he's at Michigan. He obviously doesn't have any national championships. But I'm just going to go ahead and compare the records and just kind of go through it, and y'all can figure out what this means or decide what this means for yourself. But here it goes. In 6 years, Harbaugh is 49-22, which, as I've stated before, is not bad. 690 win percentage. It's not horrible. But they're 11-16 versus ranked teams in his tenure. Win percentage of 407. And that would have been worse had they played Ohio State, Wisconsin. They would have lost those games, I'm assuming, this year. 2-12 versus top 10 teams. 143 win percentage. I've said this before. That would have been worse had they played Ohio State. 0-5 against Ohio State. Probably would have been 0-6 this year if they hadn't canceled that game. A Big Ten record of 34-16, which is 680 win percentage wise. You look at that, you think, 34-16, that's pretty good. But if you look at the Big Ten, outside of Ohio State, Wisconsin maybe, you don't really have a perennial powerhouse. And I'm not calling Wisconsin a powerhouse. I'm just saying normally Wisconsin's up there pretty highly ranked. This year, Penn State fell off, which was kind of unexpected. But if your goal is to win championships and you're 34-16 in your own conference, how does that work? How do you justify keeping him with that? On to Ohio State in this time. 68-7 record. 907 win percentage. 23-4 versus ranked teams. 852. 14-4 versus top 10 teams. 777. 5-0 versus Michigan. Big Ten record of 45-3. 45-3. In the 6 years Jim Harbaugh has been there, Ohio State is 45-3 in the Big Ten. And they have 4 Big Ten titles in 4 appearances. On to the contract situation. So Harbaugh's been there 6 years. This was his 6th season. In 6 seasons, like I said, he's accomplished nothing. Nothing. Literally nothing. No championships, hasn't gotten level with Ohio State. There's nothing going on that makes you think he's done anything even remotely close to his goal, or their goal. Through 2026, my question is, why keep him? Why? As I said, why? What has he done to make you want to keep him for another 6 years? And why that long? if he's shown absolutely no ability to win in big games, and by big games I mean Ohio State, conference rivals, Big Ten championships, if he has yet to even win one Big Ten championship or even compete, how do you justify bringing him back for another 6 years when he hasn't done that in the first 6 years? If they do agree to this 6-year deal that they're rumored to be agreeing with, it's going to set the program back. It just is. I don't know how else to describe that. Now, on to the recruiting. So, both of them have top 15 recruiting classes. And they'll put that on ESPN. Oh, they both have top 15 recruiting classes. Jim Harbaugh is right there with them. That's completely false. Ohio State is number 2 in the nation, only behind the team they're playing in the national championship, Alabama. Ohio State has 21 commits for 2021, 5 5-stars, 13 4-stars, and 3 3-stars. If Michigan wants to compete, they're going to have to do better than 13th in recruiting. 20 commits for Michigan, only 1 5-star, 10 4-stars, and 9 3-stars. 13th in recruiting is great. Any team would kill for that recruiting. But where Jim Harbaugh's failed is developing those recruits. I got into a conversation with somebody on Twitter. I said, Jim Harbaugh's done literally nothing to make you want to keep, like, what would make you want to keep him? And they were like, oh, look, it's funny though. Look at Dabo's first 6 years in Clemson. And I went and looked. Dabo was pretty mediocre his first 6 years, but the thing was, he got progressively better. It was like 3-9 one year, and then 6-6 the next, 7-5 the next, until they became what they are today. I don't see that happening with Jim Harbaugh. I really don't. So, if they offer him the 6-year deal and he takes it, as I've stated before, you're probably going to lose recruits because they're going to say, he just had a 2-4 season, and you're offering him this extension for 6 years, which means he's going to be there for the entirety of my college career, and he hasn't accomplished anything. So why would I come? Especially after a 2-4 season. I mean, it's going to make recruits question whether they want to come to Michigan or not, and I think it's just going to set them up for failure if they agree to this deal. I really do. I don't see this working out for them in any way.